Are you wondering how to be a successful business owner? You know what? I've been self-employed for over 40 years. I'm going to tell you the secret sauce. And I've been able to work with hundreds and hundreds, thousands actually, of businesses all over the country. And the theme is the same over and over and over. And I'll tell you exactly how to handle it. And you know what? If you're willing to stick around to the very end, the first 5 people, I'm going to give you access, free access, to an online course that we do just in exchange for a review. That's all we're looking for. Right on. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that if we have a clear plan, anything becomes possible. And if you can have a clear plan, a clear process to create that plan, and a way to create clarity with your partner or spouse, you can drive to amazing heights. All right, so if you're wondering, hey, how is it I can be a successful business owner? Well, the true successful business owners have found out what their jam is, meaning what is it they really love? What does amazing look like in their life? And how can they integrate that all together? And you say, man, whoa, no, dude, I'm not looking for this self-help thing. I'm looking for business. Well, this is the thing. If you're great, if your life is like amazing and you feel like the luckiest cat on the planet, you're probably gonna do really well in your business as well. I've seen this over and over and over. I've seen countless business owners who made money like crazy, but candidly they were shit shows. They hated their life. And their spouses didn't like them, and their kids didn't like them. In some cases, they didn't even like themselves. It was amazing. So to truly be successful in life, particularly with your small business, the trick is for you to initiate and define what does an amazing life look like first off, and then build your business around that. So often, people say, hey, I want to start my own business. Love that. Started 16 myself, worked with hundreds around the world. But what we end up doing is we end up becoming slaves to the business. And the tail, the business ends up beating us up, or the tail wags the dog, so to speak. So the first step, the most important step, is defining what an amazing life looks like, and then building a business that fits in with that lifestyle. So I know people who only work 1 or 2 days a week, and I live up in the mountains and 10,000 feet in Colorado, but they live in the high country and they play their brains out. And for those people, they are incredibly successful. Now, I also work with some unicorns, people who've built billion-dollar companies, and they love working 60, 80, 90-hour weeks. They love that. So in those particular cases, they're very successful. But the trick is for you to be genuine, give yourself permission, and be clear on what amazing looks like for you. So, wrote a book, best-selling book on starting your own business. And this is what the course is going to be at the end, that we're going to give it to you. But in the beginning of that, you go to that website, aspiringsolopreneur.com, no expectations, obligations. You can take a tool in there, a test called the balance wheel. And this looks at 4 different quadrants of your life. It looks at your resources, your time, your talent, and your treasure. You know, what is it, how are you managing your time? Treasure, your talent is your skill sets, and your treasure is your stuff. The thing is most people think about success like, oh, it's about the stuff. Well, I promise you, it's not just about the stuff. It's going to be about the time. It's going to be about the fulfillment you have. It talks about relationships, your friends, your family, and your partner. Goes through and talks about your work environment, what it is you like in your work environment. And then it also talks about your health, your physical, your mental, and your spiritual. Because the thing is, if you're loaded, but you're a fat bastard, and you can't even walk up the stairs, you ain't gonna be happy. I promise. So if you go through and you can take that, use that assessment, it'll help you define what amazing looks like, so you can start figuring out what it is you want. And once you figure out what you want and where you want to be, then you can very clearly go and build the business that's going to help you define that. So the first thing in having this is making sure that you're clear on where you want to go. You need to clearly define what success looks like, and then how can you start to build a business that's going to integrate into achieving that. Now, the second step is start to think about what are the things in the areas that you love, things that you love that you're good at. So, and this could be almost anything, and you can figure out aspects and ways of starting to figure out how to build your life around that. Now, as an example, my wife, Rika, she didn't know what she wanted to do. Grew up in London, trying to figure stuff out. She happened to be really good with numbers. I am not. Well, I'm very dyslexic, but that's another story. Anyway, She was able to do exceptionally well in finance, so she became an accountant. And she was an accountant for a VC firm, and she was doing really well financially, and it was cool. But she hated it. She was not happy. So she had the trimmings, she had a house, she had all this other stuff, and it's just like, I'm not happy. So she gave it up, and she ended up taking a trip around the world, which is where we met, which was super cool. Then at 40, she decided, I don't like being an accountant. And she decided to go back to school and become a couples and family counselor, which she loves. And for her, she also loves doing athletic stuff and being outside. Even though she's in her mid-50s, she loves doing ultramarathons. I don't understand that, but she does. We live in the mountains. She loves to ski, backcountry stuff, all this. So she works 3 days a week, about 5 to 6 hours a day, coaching and counseling. She makes around $250 an hour. Works really well for her. She's super happy. So in her case, she was able to define what success was and then figure out what success was, then what's an area that she loved, and then she started figuring out how is it that I need to improve and build those tools. Now it took about 6 years for her to transition to become that couples and family coach, counselor, but she was able to achieve that. And that's the real key, is once we define where we want to go, what amazing looks like, then we can start making the decisions we need to make today so that we can grow into that, so that we can make sure we're a truly successful business owner. So there's an old adage that says, when is the best time to plant a tree? Well, 25 years ago. When's the second best time? Today. You're like, dude, I don't get it, what are you talking about? So the idea is, if you can imagine your dream life, even if it's 5 years from now, what would be the right decisions you could do today to make sure that that dream life becomes the outcome and the reality? And when you have that dream life, then you're truly going to become a successful business owner. So ideally, you found some value with that. All right, here's the thing. If you guys are interested, I'm going to give you my own personal email. Please don't mess around with this, and we'll take the video down after we get the first 5 people to reach out. But you can go to the letter K at the first 3 letters of entrepreneur, ENT, the first 3 letters of advisor, ADV.com, and we'll give you the course, the Aspiring Solopreneur, whole thing. It's well over $500. We've charged as much as $2,000 for it. And all we're going to ask for is that you give us a positive review. So thank you very much for investing the time and energy. Look forward to hearing from you. And remember, it has never been safer to start your own business. You can do it. You can vet it all without having to spend a bunch of money. So with this, keep smiling.